Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sam's Comic Spot, where today I'm going to be showing the graphic novels that I picked up in May of 2025. First up, we have Black Widow by Mark Waid and Chris Samney, the complete collection. For a while, I had a difficult time finding a copy of this. I don't know if they reprinted it or if it was restocked or if I got lucky, but I finally found one for a great price, so I decided to finally pick up this series, which I've wanted to read for a while. Ever since I read the Daredevil run that these two collaborated on, which, by the way, is one of my favourite Daredevil runs. I've wanted to read this series, which I believe they worked on as soon as they finished writing that Daredevil run. But not only that, this is also, I believe, a perfect starting point for Black Widow. It's a character I'm familiar with because of like the MCU, for instance, but I've never actually read a solo Black Widow book before. But like I said, I've heard this is a great place to start, and it's not very long. I think it's about 12 issues, maybe. So I'm going to be reading it probably as soon as possible, I think, because I'm very excited to see Mark Waid and Chris Samney teaming up again. And I mean, on top of that, I'm just a big fan of spy thrillers. I love Velvet by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. And I'm also like a big James Bond fan, Mission Impossible fan. So I think this book will appeal to me. I think I'm going to really enjoy it. Next up is The Fantastic Four by Dwayne McDuffie. Now, I'm pretty sure this is a run that often goes under the radar, and that's likely because it's only about maybe 10, 12 issues long. So it's easy to see why it sort of got lost in the shuffle, especially since it came out in the 2000s around the time of all the Civil War and the Secret Invasion, like crossovers, I believe. Quite a big fan of the late Dwayne McDuffie. Um, Although I'll admit I haven't read too much from him. He did work pretty extensively on a lot of cartoons that I watched growing up. And from what I've seen online, I've heard that this run is actually very underrated and is something that's worth checking out if you want to get into the Fantastic Four. So I managed to track down this very long out of print trade, which I'm pretty sure collects the entire run in one place. I could be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure this is everything. So the only thing I really know about the book is that it features Black Panther and Storm taking the place of Mr. Fantastic and the Invisible Woman. Although I'm pretty sure that those two are still involved in the story as well, just in a different way. So I'm curious to see how that works. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this. I'm not really sure what to expect. I hope I really enjoy it. But now moving on to a bit of an impulse buy. This is Black Hole by Charles Burns. Now this I saw on an episode of Hidden Gems by Near Mint Condition. I think it's the latest episode as a film-in. And it's a horror book from Fantagraphics, which also makes this my first Fantagraphics book. What led to me actually buying this was just having a quick search for it online, and I came across a used copy for a really cheap price. So I decided just to bite the bullet and give this a go, because I've been getting into horror more and more over the past few years, and to me it just sounds like a great premise for a horror story. So I'm eager to have another horror comic in my collection to read, because as a filming, I think the only horror books that I've really read are World Tree and Batman Arkham Asylum by Grant Morrison. So yeah, I'm definitely curious to read this. It's got a very distinct style to it, very heavy with the ink. Obviously, it's black and white, and it came in this really nice, it's like this really nice hardcover edition, which I didn't expect. To give you a basic idea of what this book is about, it's about a mysterious new disease that only affects teenagers, being dubbed as the teen plague or the bug. And essentially, it leads to teenagers developing all kinds of weird and unpredictable symptoms. And I think it's the variety, which is really where the horror is supposed to come from. So, from what I can tell, it's a bit of a body horror book, because you can get things like ranging from on the back it says a few bumps, maybe an ugly rash, while on the more extreme side of things, some can turn into monsters or grow new body parts. With the salt in the wound, I guess, being that once you're infected forever. So yeah, I don't know when I'm going to read this. I'm going to try and read it this summer, I think, or maybe save it towards October time. But yeah, I'm very curious to check this out because I haven't seen anyone talk about it outside of the Hidden Gems video. And finally, we have the standard edition of Ultimate Spider-Man: The Death of Spider-Man omnibus. So this was an omnibus that I delayed getting for the longest time because, like a lot of people, I was waiting to see if there would be a volume 5, as opposed to this, which is an event book. And we finally got the announcement of volume 5. It's coming out towards the end of 2025. And I think after all that waiting, I think that this was the better option of the two. At least if you ask me. The difference between the two, if I'm remembering correctly, is this book collects the entirety of Ultimate Fallout, while the Volume 5 Omnibus collects the entirety of Ultimate Marvel Team Up. And just knowing me, I don't see myself reading the Ultimate Marvel Team Up material, so I figured I may as well get this instead. Because I waited so long, I did miss out on the direct market cover, which I will admit I do prefer it, but I'm happy to have it, and I'm also really happy to finally be rounding off the Ultimate Spider-Man collection in oversized format. So that concludes my graphic novel haul for this video. I'm not sure how regularly I'm going to do these, but whenever I feel like I've got enough to talk about, I'll be more than happy to share what I've picked up recently. I may do something similar for books that I've actually read recently as well. But apart from that, thank you for watching, especially if you made it this far, and goodbye.